What's the most absurd reason you've heard of someone canceling their marriage? My Italian uncle canceled his wedding because the bride's family, not Italian, would not serve lasagna at the wedding reception. He ended up marrying an Irish woman whose family was okay with serving lasagna at the reception. Bride canceled the wedding a week before because she was a hardcore Disney adult and she was offered a temp job at Disney and felt she couldn't miss the opportunity of her dreams. One of my friends was engaged and is Catholic. Her husband had to convert and he had a dream where he was in a Catholic church but not getting married. He was a priest, so he had a vision of becoming a priest, and now the wedding is off. I was going to be a guest at a wedding and found out it was cancelled 2 weeks before the date. The bride found out that the groom had gotten a significant discount on the price of the venue and she was insanely angry that anything at her wedding cost less than premium. Keep in mind, this was her dream venue that she had chosen. She was just mad that her fiancé was cheap or something. I was never super close to either of them, but the last I heard they never ended up getting married. My cousin called it off 3 days in advance because the bride and groom couldn't agree on whether to hyphenate their last names or use his. In retrospect, there was a significant class-culture divide of which that was merely one symptom. They didn't have enough donations from friends and family. They set a date, and when they sent out the invitations, they included a line stating invitations returned without the required minimum would not get seated in the hall. Another not allowed into the wedding. The bride and groom would make an appearance outside in the parking lot so they could have a chance to congratulate them, though they received $0. Why? Their minimum was $100. $250 if you wanted food. $500 included cake service. For alcohol, $50 got you 6 drink tickets. And I think the cheapest drink was 2 tickets. And some were 10. What games have you literally spent months of your life playing? World of Warcraft. The factory must grow. Minecraft is probably one of the few games I played for months. RuneScape. Pokemon. Asking my wife where she wants to go eat. What does Britain have that America doesn't have? Roman ruins. Medieval castles. When you enter a store in Britain and see an item's price posted on it, you know exactly how much it costs. People that take down a terrorist with a narwhal tusk, spear and fire extinguisher. https://www.bbc.com/news/uk-england-66927972.amp. Get our flag put in others' flags. Pubs. There was a documentary about a U.S. aircraft carrier meeting up with the new British aircraft carrier. In the U.S. Navy they are not allowed to drink on ship. The British aircraft carrier has a pub. The look on those American sailors' faces. Lol. Reddit. What are things that people misunderstood about joining the military? It's just a job. And the shine fades out real fast after a couple years. It's just more of the same. Also, if you choose a combat trade, chances are you'll never do your job outside of training. Just how many mg of ibuprofen a human being can ingest on a daily basis without immediately dying? Sailor here. The common phrase we heard was, hurry up and wait, meaning you'd be standing around waiting for orders or jobs. There is a lot more time sitting and waiting than military activities. The sheer amount you'll be treated like a child, and the sheer amount of collective group punishments cause one person you don't know fucks something up. I had a classmate in high school that joined the army because it can't be that much different than Call of Duty. What's your coldest response to, I cheated on you? When did we become exclusive? I guess everyone was right about you. Your mom already told me, didn't go over well with my ex. If you are the cheating party, the worst response from the partner is silence. No anger. No yelling. No crying, just silence. Brian bet me $50 and a pack of cigarettes. Did they pay you? We're out of bread. Women of Reddit, what is the hardest part of being a woman? Everything related to our reproductive system. Periods. Hormonal cycles. Contraceptives. Pregnancy. Don't get me wrong. I love being a woman and I want to be a mother. I don't think those things are bad. But they're definitely very hard. I have a lot, but I would say endometriosis and PCOS. Time of the month. But the thing is, if we don't get one, then we would probably think, oh crap, am I pregnant? Quote, we just can't win. And no, we can't hold it in like urine, it just blobs out. Periods. The weird sexism when women talk about their interests and hobbies when they're not the traditional woman hobbies. If a woman is working in a male-dominated industry, she's required to be one of the best, and mistakes are met with misogynistic, women can't do anything right, bullshit. She can't be just average like a man can. It's a weird double standard. Or if a woman has more masculine hobbies or interests and the men around her find out, most of the time they'll end up quizzing her to see if she's actually into it or faking. When doctors brush you off as having anxiety. What is the most overrated dish in the world? Donuts from places known for crazy donuts. The most extreme donuts I've ever had were the most mediocre. They tasted like somebody put stale cereal on top of grocery store donuts. $18. Tall, stacked, giant burgers slathered in 15 different condiments and toppings. They're hard to eat and usually not as good as a simple burger. Cupcakes during their 2009 to 2014 reign of terror. Any steak from Salt Bay's restaurants. Gourmet burgers. You pay top dollar and get a burger that's difficult to eat. Stacked to high and falls apart. And where there's so much attention to toppings you can hardly taste the beef and cheese. Anything made with truffle oil gets an honorable mention. I think the saucer. Enough room for a snack. But not a meal. You can use a bowl for something small. Other than holding your teacup. I just think it's really overrated. Married people of Reddit. What made you decide to get the engagement ring you did? And how much was it? My grandmother pulled me aside 5 minutes after meeting my now wife, then girlfriend for the first time, that she really loved her and she would fit right into our family. They had a really good bond for a couple of years before my grandmother passed. Her last wish was that I used her engagement ring from 1945. Grandfather proposed the day the Germans left Norway. When I asked for marriage, I did. She said yes. And we have been happily married for a good few years now. My mother was dying of cancer and gave me her engagement ring to give to my wife. It was a low-profile diamond from 1965. I think my father paid $275 for it at Eaton's. Just celebrated our 25th last week. She still wears it daily. Was asked if I wanted a ring. Surprised myself by saying that I did, even though I'm not a jewelry person. So we went shopping and I hated all the jewelry store rings. Decided to check out antique stores and we found a cool looking 50s vintage diamond ring with an illusion setting. Makes tiny stone look bigger. It fit. It was $300. It was perfect. I worked for the jeweler store. I had about a steep discount. I chose 5 and let him pick from there since I had to technically buy it. He picked my favorite. It is a 1-quart ruby set in rose gold. I love it. Retail it would be around $5,000 for me, it was $900. I wanted a ruby as I did not want a diamond. And I am a big history buff. We went shopping for one like 9 months before popping the question. She ended up liking something completely different than she initially expected. $5,500 for the engagement ring. $2,500 for the wedding band. I told my now husband back when we were talking about getting married that I did not want him spending thousands of dollars on a ring for me. I just wanted something colorful and that would stand out. We sat down and talked about the ring and went online to look at some. We landed on this beautiful ocean cluster ring that has a variety of gorgeous blues. https audreyrosestyle.com/starry-ocean-cluster-ring. In it, when looking for a ring, you really need to sit down with your SO and ask what it is that they want. Most women wouldn't want someone to spend a ton of money on a ring. Subscribe, my brothers.